Hi guys, welcome to Awakening Education. In the last video, I talked about 5 ways to be actually able to get some understanding as to whether you might be stuck on your spiritual journey, and helped you to understand whether or not this is just a phase you're going through or whether you actually need to mix it up and try something different. Well, in this video, we're going to be talking about 5 ways to actually take some action to get yourself unstuck if you're feeling stuck. So if you're wanting to get yourself reignited for this whole spiritual journey, the first thing we can do to get ourselves unstuck is to reconnect with that passion that helped us to get inspired for this journey in the first place. Because I'm sure you would agree, when we hear about this whole idea of being a soul that's come down here to have a human experience, and that realization that we're actually down here as a soul in our physical experience and that we're awake, we're realizing that we're actually, let alone, we've got a soul. Let's start with that. You realize you've got a soul, you're down here having an experience, and it can be very exciting to want to discover the self, to be the inquirer, and to, of course, grow and to connect more with the inner voice within, connecting to source, to the divine, get out of the head, into the heart. That's what I'm talking about. Number one, to get yourself back on track. Just get re-inspired. Get that spark again, helping you to sort of clarify all of the beautiful things that are in this for you. Because the more you understand yourself, forgive the self, understand the patterns, the false beliefs, some of the emotional injuries that may be located within. And then as you clear those or emotionally balance those through the balancing of your chakras, you begin to see your natural gifts and abilities start to turn on, and you notice shifts in your meditations, your ability to hear voices from the guides, and of course for you to be able to turn on your natural gifts and abilities that all of us possess in different ways as we clear some of the heaviness and the density out of our life. So reconnecting with that spark or passion, and you can just bullet a few of those reasons down. It'll just help to reconnect you to that initial fire in the belly that got you started in the first place. Number 2 way to get yourself from feeling unstuck, learn to embrace stillness, or to pause for a moment and ask yourself, am I caught in the healer's loop? Am I continually approaching every meditation or journaling exercise from this point of view that there's something wrong with me, the needle in the haystack approach? If I can just work out how all of this began, then I might understand better why I am the way I am. Because far out, we all know we've got things that we want to work on. Sometimes it can be perfect to just do nothing, and instead of constantly asking questions, move into silence. Sometimes the less we try, the more things are able to settle and subside, and the answers just emerge. They appear without any effort or striving or pushing. I was speaking to a person the other day who was going, oh my goodness, I'm doing all this sound healing and this inner work, and I'm doing my journaling. I'm at my wit's end. I'm not quite sure what to do next. And I said, perhaps the answer is do nothing. Go into your next day tomorrow of inner work, which they were doing. And I said, come at it from a perspective of being open to perhaps this time receiving rather than searching for the issues. And I use the analogy of being the explorer rather than the archaeologist. You know, sometimes we get stuck in archaeologist mode. We've got to dig all this stuff up and hopefully I can understand why I'm like this, or why my family patterns are like this, or clear all of that lineage stuff out of my timeline because some of this doesn't even feel like it's mine. Well, perhaps you've been doing that work and now it's time to receive some rewards. So in that stillness, you can be the explorer, not the archaeologist. So the explorer explores new things that may come in that silence, and it can be a beautiful shift in perspective. Now, number 3, explore new modalities. Explore things that you haven't done before, perhaps new communities, new conversations. Talk to different people, either online or preferably going along to some sort of different class that you may not have done before. There might be some sort of intuitive painting class, or you might go along and just do something creative like pottery or something for the self. Might be taking the family away to the forest or a trip to the beach. And in that, you set an intention to really just be present. And in that new experience with the intention of exploring, you might be able to let let a breakthrough come through. Or you might have a conversation with people and they give you a fresh perspective on something. The number of times I've helped people who have been stuck in some sort of pattern and not knowing what to do next, and through understanding everything they've said, maybe making a couple of suggestions, and they go, oh my goodness, I never saw that before. Sometimes we're too close to our own issues, so getting someone else's perspective or approaching it from a new modality can be a great way of breaking through that barrier, which does lead us to number 4 way to get unstuck if you're stuck on your spiritual journey, and this is to seek support. Get some guidance from a mentor, a spiritual guide, or move into some sort of class or teaching from a different spiritual community, because very often a fresh perspective or someone who is used to helping people unthread their false beliefs or to find the root cause of an emotional pattern which may be playing out in their life. Sometimes people who work in this area a lot can give you clarity and guidance so that you can save a lot of time. One of the things I wish I had have done earlier in my journey was seek more support. Even to this day, I am still going for energy healing sessions and getting plant integration guidance from people who are very experienced in that area to help me join the dots better, because sometimes, man, this stuff can be complicated. And then number 5 way, if you're feeling a bit stuck on your spiritual journey, you want to get yourself progressing again, probably the method that I recommend the most to people: raise your vibration. Be careful what you eat, what you drink, your habits, what you're feeding into your brain and mind. Work on your physical vessel, your fitness. We've got to raise that vibration. So starting the day with meditation or breath work. Everyone can find 5 or 10 minutes for some meditation or breath work at the start of the day, no matter how busy you are. Also, what we can do throughout the day is drink plenty of water. Make sure the food that we're eating is full of life and vitality. So there is an energy exchange, keeping things that are in packets to a minimum as much as possible, making sure you're getting plenty of sleep at night. And it doesn't take very many days for shifts in your diet and your exercise to give you a noticeable shift in energy and vitality. The cells hold more light, more frequency, and more vibration. And if it is slow to take effect, I would suggest a heavy metal detox or a parasite cleanse, clearing out any imperfections, any heaviness in the physical body. The vibration goes up, and my goodness, you'll often notice it immediately in your ability to get on the flow with your journaling and your automatic writing, or of course you drop into meditation, and the increased awareness, vitality, and light and energy in the cells is certainly transferred through in your meditative experiences and in your ability to be able to connect to high vibrational information. So if you found any of these 5 helpful, please list them down in the comments below, the ones that you're going to do. Reconnect with your intentions, embrace the stillness and silence, explore new practices, seek guidance and support from others, or ramp up your self-care by raising your vibration. And I'd love to know which one resonates the most for you. We've got a free meditation, which we'll link down below in the section, comment section and description. And you can use that meditation to guide you through balancing your chakras, clearing anything that doesn't serve you out of your field, and getting you back to being a higher vibrational version of you. Talk soon, guys.